Okay, Coach, they indeed love their football here in upstate New York as you look inside of New Era Field in Orchard Park. Today, the curtain falls on the regular season, and we've got a good one in store between the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Here we go, the final week of the NFL season, Week 17. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by Dak Prescott, the 135th pick of the draft back in 2016 from Mississippi State.
Well, we've hit that bittersweet week of the NFL season, haven't we? The last week of the regular season, Week 17. Come on, Brandon. Can he win the MVP? Can he do it here in this last game?
Well, he's got to make a strong impression here in the final week. It's an interesting race. My MVP ballot is at the top of my email right now, and I'm not voting until we've seen all the games here today.
I like that. I respect a man that waits until the season is over, doesn't turn it in early. I think if he has a big game here and gets a little bit of help, maybe other guys don't play as well, he's got a great shot.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. On 2nd down, Connor looking for space. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Prescott now. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. So here come the Jets for their initial possession of the game. They'll be led out by the rookie, the 6th overall pick back in April out of Duke, and that's Daniel Jones.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
A run for Tony Pollard, the Memphis product. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And he will force his way forward for a yard or 2, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back. So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide, and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Let him know, let him know. No, he has the mic. Here we go, here we go. Here we go. Mike 38, Mike 38. Let's go, tackle, let's go. We got this.
Operating from the gun, Jones. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. And with this offense, what about DJ Fluker?
Came out of Alabama.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, Jones. He's got a man open. That's Marshall. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23.
Down. 60 outlaw. You got 4. Hey, high 7.
Jones on 1st and 10. And this one complete to Smith. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Check 52. Check score. Look at me. Score.
On the ground, this is Williams. It's a gain of 3, and it'll be 2nd down. A look now at our starting defense. And they're squarely in the middle of the pack against the run this year, number 16 in the NFL.
I still crack up a little bit after we left our meeting with the defensive coordinator, because I said to you, stop me if you've heard this before. How about him saying, well, first order of business, we got to stop the run. Of course you do. He's got a good unit, but facing the number 1 rushing team, they have to stop that in order to have a good performance.
Even. 4 down. Even. Mike 38.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Jones into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jeff Heath. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. I call it no gain there on the first down play. And quickly the starting 11 now for the New York defense.
Landon Collins is built like your typical tackle-first safety, but he does have the ability to play the deep part of the field.
Now a draw play. This is Connor. And he'll get this across the 40 and up to about the 42-yard line. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The number 1 pick, Myles Garrett, coming in to drop him. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait until the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. On 2nd down, Williams. And he is met in his 50 Go! 5. Now Jones on third down. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down.
Oh, Prescott stripped.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
56, check 56. Quit talking about it and bring it.
They'll try and run for it with Connor. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
We play to win. Let's go.
So we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC as the Jets come back out on offense. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, this team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through. And I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
X3, 218, chop. You don't know no better.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jones, that's complete. Again, he's got Marshall. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. The last catch took him 2 yards in the wrong direction, so now what can they do on 3rd? Jones now, operating from the gun. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his 2nd of the game. Instead, 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The drive will start with Connor. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. Nice job there on the tackle. Keep him to the short gain. And, of course, he got some good news this week. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's effort.
And part of the reason he got that award, because of plays like that. Not every play is spectacular. Not every play is for a loss. Make the plays that are in front of you, keep it to short gains, and you pile up statistics.
From the 31, Prescott. Wright's got it. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. The